Hey guys, Eric here, and in today's guest video, we're going to be taking a look at the Prime 1 Studios Brainiac. This is the video game version. It was based off the game Injustice, specifically Injustice 2. So now, this isn't a new statue. It's actually been out for a while. I think it's been out for maybe like a year now. But you don't really see too many photos of this on Facebook. You don't really see too many videos of it on YouTube. And I think that comes down to two reasons. One, this statue has an extremely low edition size. The regular edition, which is this one, was limited to only 200 pieces made, and the exclusive version, which comes with an alternate portrait where he's kind of looking a little bit more angry, was limited to only 150 pieces made. So you're looking at a total of only 350 made worldwide, and that's it. So the second reason is, if you haven't noticed by now, is this thing is massive and it takes up a lot of room in your display. Later on in the video, we're going to do exact measurements and I'll give you a better idea of, how much room you're going to need to display this if you decide to pick it up. But off the top of my head, I think it was somewhere around 25 inches deep from the back of the base to the front of his hand, which is a lot. And I think it was somewhere around 30 to 35 inches tall, depending on how you position the tentacles. So for those two reasons, I think a lot of collectors probably passed up on the opportunity to pick this up, but I can tell you, seeing it in person now, if you can find it, I definitely recommend picking it up. It is truly incredible. We're going to do a review, and as always, let's first start off with the base. Alright, so starting off with the base, actually before we get into the base, I just want to say this statue comes with a ton of pieces. I think it took me maybe an hour or more to put this together, just because there's so many parts you have to unwrap, and then trying to figure out where everything goes is kind of a pain in the butt. It was definitely a challenge. So for example, these claws here come out, they're magnetized, you have two on each side. For some reason, for the life of me, I could not get them positioned correctly. They just weren't going in the way they should look. And then I eventually figured it out, and I felt like an idiot because I thought originally something was wrong with it, but no, it was just user error, nothing wrong with it. Spinning around, also all these little spikes up here, these are all removable, and they are color coded, so you can see like there's green, and then there should be green on the inside of that hole to let you know where it goes. I had issues getting these to look correct. I think maybe they got the paint wrong on some of them to where, the colors were wrong and they weren't matching up. So I had to rearrange them myself to make, them look right. Also, coming along the back here, see if you guys notice it yet. So you're going to notice there's an outline right here. And this is actually the panel to access the battery door. It took me a while to figure out where the panel actually was, because it actually is very well hidden into the design. But even once I found where it was, I could not open this. I don't know if it was the change of weather and it was just maybe sticking more than usual. Like even now I can't open it, but I am doing this one-handed. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, this comes off. So yeah, the first time I tried doing that, it took me maybe like 5 minutes to get that off. So as you can see, it takes two AA batteries. One little minor gripe is Prime 1 did not supply AA batteries. Not that I trust, batteries when they come with electronic devices. They're usually crappy batteries, and I'm always afraid that, the battery acid is going to leak out and destroy the battery compartment. But, in the event you don't have AA's at your house and you just want to test out the feature to make sure it works, it would be nice if they supplied those. So just a little nitpick. All right, so as you can see, this was just moving. This is actually the button to turn the light up feature on and off. For me, I have closed cabinets, so I'm not gonna be able to access this. I really wish it came with a power plug so I could just control it from my outlet, because usually I don't like light up features, but the light up feature on this is actually really cool. And it is something I would probably use. I mean, look at that. It's really cool looking. So while we're here in the front, you have some like alien hieroglyphics. Really nice looking. With Prime 1, they tend to, you know, maybe use like a solid gray color on all their bases. They really did a good job with this base. It has a lot of different shades in it. I really love the depth on the sides here. You can see it's like all different layers built on top of one another. It kind of actually reminds me of the, you know, the alien statues, or even like the Transformer statues, where it's like layer upon layer upon layer. It's a really cool effect. And even just the colors in the base, they added, you know, like these blue highlights and these purple highlights. You have these pink lines running throughout the cracks. It's just really nicely done. Looking at the tentacles, you have 2 tentacles on each side. They are removable. Prime 1 recommends not moving them while they're connected to the statue. You don't want to accidentally break the polystone. Not the tentacles themselves. The tentacles actually bend very easily, which was surprising. I thought I was going to maybe like, you know, chip the paint on these things, but it's some type of flexible plastic where you can really bend these really nice. You know, they are rigid, so they're not going to go anywhere. All of these claws are removable. And Prime 1 gives you multiple options to switch up these claws. So I think you get maybe like 5 to 10 of this design, where it's like 4 different clasps. You have this pointy design. They give you a whole bunch of these. You have this one where it's open, so they give you a whole bunch of those as well. So if you really wanted to like change up the design to where they were all pointy, or if they were all open, you can do that. I kind of just copied the box design. I thought it looked pretty cool to just have this one open in the front where his hand is, you know, kind of like he's reaching out to you. At the same time, the clasp, the robotic arm is reaching out to you. Made more, you know, most sense to me. Going up to his body, this is where he keys in on one foot. It's a giant key as well as a giant peg, so it's very secure into the base. Looking at the suit design, it's extremely well done. I love all the colors. I love the texture work. All the tons of details and the pattern of this suit is just incredible. For me, I'm more used to the comic book style Brainiac. I'm not really too familiar with Injustice. I don't play the video game. I think I played the arcade game maybe a couple of times. But I gotta say, I really love this suit. I could see this suit being used like in like a movie costume design, which we really need. We really need to see Brainiac on the big screen already. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. He's such an amazing villain. Yeah, so same thing with the body. You have these like purples and blue sheens coming off the body, you know, highlighting him. It's a really cool effect, and they blended those 2 colors really nicely together. And then the pink pinstriping. Take a look at his boots here. It's really nicely done. Taking a look at his hand. Really nice with the fingers and the fingertips there. It's really creepy looking. He's got like some type of mechanical piston on the inside of his arm there. Taking a look at his portrait. I love the way Prime 1 does their portraits with the translucent resin. It really captures, you know, details nicely. You know, you can see like the skin pores and the texture in the, you know, the skin. The wrinkles in the eyes. It just really picks up every single little detail. And that's one thing I appreciate about Prime 1. They constantly do portraits with that translucent skin resin, and it's really amazing. Look at his eyes. His eyes are so menacing looking. So now this is the regular portrait, the exclusive. He comes with more of like an open mouth, kind of like he's yelling. To me, I think this portrait works better. When I think of Brainiac, I think of him more of as a, calm and collective type villain. He's the type of villain that's always 10 steps ahead of you. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. So I don't really see him as the type that, would get angry too often. He's just too smart for that. He's always ahead of you. So I think this portrait, for that reason, works better, and I think it just looks better in general compared to the exclusive portrait. So it's not one of those issues where it's an exclusive or fail type situation. Taking a look at his other hand again. A little details and textures going on in this thing. So now, I always say, I truly love a statue when it looks good from every angle, and to me, this is one of those statues. I can rotate this statue any angle, and I think it looks amazing. Coming along to the back here. So these arms are removable, the robotic arms. They are also color coded, as you can see. So yeah, even if you didn't want to use these and just leave them off, I think it still looks good. It doesn't really affect the design to where I would say it's like a flaw and it's like an eyesore. So if you wanted to save some room and not use these, you can definitely leave them off. For me, I think it makes the statue better and just adds so much more presence to it. So much going on in the suit with all the different layers, this pattern and paneling going on in his suit and the textures. It's just really incredible. I love the way the colors play off of one another, the blues, the purples, and then the pinks mixed in. And then, of course, the silvers and the blacks. It's just a really nice looking piece. Give you a better look at the portrait. Really nice. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, with this statue, you don't really see too many photos. You don't really see too many videos of it. When it first came out, I knew I wanted it. I knew it looked, incredible with all the details. I just didn't have the space for it at the time. But yeah, I had really high expectations going into this statue when I ordered it. And sometimes when you have high expectations, you could be a little bit let down because you're so hyped up on the piece, and then it arrives and it kind of, lets you down a little bit. With this piece, it was the complete opposite. I had high expectations going in, and then when it arrived, it completely blew my expectations out of the water. It's just one of those statues that's truly incredible. All right, so as you can see, this statue is truly epic. It is truly amazing, in my opinion. As mentioned earlier in the video, we are going to take measurements. I'll take measurements in a few spots. Some people just want to know the measurements of the base, and sometimes the statue companies don't give you those type of measurements. So if we're looking at just the base, from the front of the alien ship to the back of the alien ship is 18.5 inches. Just the circumference of the round part of the base will be 12 inches. So 12 inches just for the round part, and 18 to 18.5 inches to go from the front of the base to the back of the base, the ship. So now the furthest part that sticks out forward is actually going to be his hand. That's all these tentacles. You can actually flex them, behind his hand, so it doesn't stick out past his hand. So his fingertips are going to be the furthest point out forward. You can actually flex these tubes very easily. I was actually surprised by that. I didn't think I was going to be able to bend them very easily without breaking them. Not that they're poorly made or cheap or anything, but it just caught me off guard about how easy you can bend them. So yeah, you can bend all of these, before his hand, so you can only go from his hand to the back of the base if you want, to save on some depth. So to go from his front fingers on his hand sticking forward to the back base of the alien ship, I would say roughly 23 inches. And again, you can stick these tentacles out forward past his hand if you want. So 23 inches from his hand to the back of the ship. You can send these tentacles out forward more if you want and go maybe 25, 30 inches forward if you really wanted to. Taking a look at his height. So let's see, I'm going to go to, again, you can move the tentacles higher above his head if you want. I have them right now below his head level. So we're going to go from the bottom of the base to the top of his head, which is 29 inches. So he's 29 inches tall from the bottom of the base to the top of his head. Again, now you can flex these tentacles higher than his head. You can probably go maybe 35, maybe even 40 inches tall if you really want to. So yeah, those are the measurements. As I mentioned also earlier, this is an extremely hard piece to find. It has an extremely low edition size, only 350 total with the regular and the exclusive. So it's a hard piece to find, but if it does come along and you have the chance to buy it, I highly recommend picking it up. To me, it's now my personal favorite statue in my collection. I've seen a lot of quarter scale statues in my time, and honestly, I'm being 100%, I think this might be the best quarter scale statue I've ever seen in my life. This thing is really amazing. Between the colors and the size and the depth, the details, this thing, it has it all. So it was a little expensive. I think it was $1,000 retail. So I mean, it's expensive, but you get a lot for what you're paying for. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time.
Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these two awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.